So let's dig deeper on our own into this rising inflation with former Labor Secretary nominee Andy Puzder. Tell me, the White House is partly blaming the rise on inflation on the Delta variant. I want you to listen to this first. Here's Press Secretary Jen Psaki.
We're also have been addressing through a separate channel, through our supply chain efforts, our work with a range of companies and our work with our global partners. I'd also note that we've seen impacts because of the Delta variant on parts of the world and markets where there are some materials coming from.
Yeah, we blame this inflation on the virus?
Well, they'll blame it on anything they can possibly blame it on other than their own policies. Look, if what she's saying was true, then June's inflation in June would have been much lower than it was in July, because in June we really weren't having the same problems with the Delta variant that we're having in July. And in fact, June's inflation was even higher than July's, and July's was high and very, very significant. The problem is, if people aren't working, right, we had supply chain disruptions during the pandemic. If people don't get back to work, if they're not driving to get them. So if you pay people, as the Democrats are, more not to work than they could make if they had a job, so they don't go back to work, you're going to have supply chain problems. This could last a while.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're starting to hear now. Yeah, paying people to stay home more. In fact, the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jay Powell, also acknowledging for the first time to me that, that in fact it plays a role, that extra unemployment benefits. Now, that rolls off in September. So Republicans now are pointing to trillions of dollars of spending by Democrats. What do you make of the more of this spending going in? And what does that mean for the inflation that we're seeing?
Well, the major driver of inflation is always monetary policy. Milton Friedman said that years ago. And we now, since the pandemic began in February 2020, we've increased the money supply by a third, by 32%. Well, that means every dollar is worth less. So what you're seeing is the impact of all these dollars flooding the economy. And Jay Powell has to come up with something. I mean, last month he claimed, it was cars and airfares that were driving these inflationary trends, those kinds of things which would dissipate. Well, this month, cars and airfare were down. They weren't. The rate they increased at was down. What was up was food and energy, things that normal Americans feel very, very sensitive about. And that's what drove inflation in July. And so you're going to see that for a while. You're going to see it until we can solve these labor issues and try and stop this incredible spending that's devaluing the dollar. I mean, we've seen inflation increasing significantly more than wages, which means even though wages are going up, people are earning less. And that's going to continue for a while with these policies.
We heard both the White House press secretary and the president say core inflation was less than it was last time. But if the core inflation takes out energy, those gas prices, as well as food prices, but you can't really do that because Americans are seeing that inflation, right? It's 5.4% is what it was last month. 5.4% is what it was in June and July. Exactly, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, look, you go to the gas station and then you stop at the grocery store. What are the two things you're going to notice? You're going to notice energy costs and you're going to notice food costs. So taking those out of the calculation, the inflation calculation, and saying, well, it's not as bad as people think it is. Well, it is as bad as people think it is because energy and food are way, way up. And energy's up. Did you see today that Biden is asking OPEC to produce more oil? I mean, because they're concerned about the price of oil being too high to meet the demand that's out there right now. This is what they're seeing in the inflation numbers. How about the United States produces more oil? How about we open the Keystone Pipeline? How about we encourage people in Texas and North Dakota to produce energy to get our energy costs down? It doesn't make any difference for climate change whether the oil comes from Saudi Arabia, Russia, or the United States. I'd prefer it come from the United States.
Yeah, quickly, I want you to listen to something. The co-founder of Home Depot, Ken Langone, says that inflation hurts the people who are already struggling. Listen to this.
Inflation is a regressive tax. The people that get punished the most by inflation are the people who are struggling to make ends meet. Why? Because they live from paycheck to paycheck. These people deserve better than that. Go back and look at 79 and 80 and 81. Who was getting crushed? The little guy.
Yeah, and those are the voters that President Biden said that he would protect. In the last 30 seconds here, what's the fix?
Well, the fix is, number one, we advance policies that get people back into the labor force, cut out all these policies that take people out of the labor force. And number two, stop the spending. Even Joe Manchin, the Democrat from West Virginia, is out there saying, look, we're spending too much money. We're spending like we're in a depression, and we're not. We're in an overheating economy. We have to stop the spending, stop printing money, and get people back to work. And then we'll be back to where we were under President Trump, with wages growing faster than inflation.
Yeah, 3.5% unemployment in February, right before when the bottom dropped out of the economy with the pandemic. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate your time. We have a lot to ponder on this, and this is something we'll be going to be following very, very closely here. Thank you very much.